Hey, what's going on everybody? My name is Ryan, I'm a CPA, and today I'm going to be talking about the 1099K, the new rules, the current issues that we might be seeing, and what you can do about it. But first, it'd be super awesome if you could please subscribe to my channel and smash the like button below. All right, so if you haven't heard about this, the 1099K has been a big deal this past year because the American Rescue Plan has changed the rules on this thing quite a bit. That has a lot of taxpayers concerned. So first, what is the 1099K? The 1099K is a merchant. First of all, it's an IRS tax form that merchants report to show the IRS how much gross money you received either individually or through your business. So if you're a business and you accept credit cards throughout the year, let's say you use Stripe, and Stripe is accepting credit card payments for your services that customers pay you. Stripe will issue you a 1099K and it will send a copy to the IRS so the IRS knows how much gross money that you made for the year. This seems pretty normal, right? So what's the big deal? Well, the big deal is prior to the American Rescue Plan, merchants weren't required to issue these 1099Ks until you made at least $20,000 of gross receipts, okay? So that means if you were on Venmo, PayPal, Cash App, and you're selling things, you're getting rid of old furniture or old crap or junk around your house, and people are paying you money for these things, typically you'd have to make over $20,000 in order for the IRS, or in order for Venmo to issue you a 1099K. But because of the American Rescue Plan, that lower limit now has come to $600. So people are freaking out about this because obviously if you're selling stuff on Venmo, or if you're selling your old stuff and people are paying you on Venmo or PayPal, and it's literally just old stuff that you had around the house, it's not really a business that you are enduring on. You're getting these payments, you're selling old crap. You're probably selling it at a deep discount. And so you don't want, Venmo to issue you a 1099K and therefore require you to report it on the tax return. And that's what the big deal is, because if you get issued one of these, then you are required to report it on your tax return. Now, last year I made a video about this and I said, hey, if you just, make sure, if you're paying back people for meals, or people are paying you, for meals, and you all go out to dinner, you pay for the whole tab, and the group of friends reimburses you on Venmo, just make sure they hit, the button that says, hey, this is friends and family, this is not a business. And if they pay you with friends and family in that mode, then those payments should not be counted towards the 1099K $600 limit. Same goes with PayPal or Cash App or anything like that. Any way you accept payments, as long as you are paid as friends and family, then those payments should not, add up to the $600 minimum that requires you to report the payments that you received. That's all good and fun in theory, but what we've been learning as the year progresses, as 2023 progresses, and January is almost over, is that merchants and payment vendors are making huge mistakes on these. So even though people are being paid as friends and family, they're still getting 1099Ks. And so this video is to show you and tell you what you can do about that. Okay, so one scenario. Let's say you get a 1099K and you sold nothing throughout the year, right? You just received payments from your friends for covering the whole dinner bill, or maybe the movie ticket or the concert ticket. That's all you did throughout the year, and you still received a 1099K. Okay, so what should you do? First, you should contact the company that issued you the 1099K, whether it's PayPal or Venmo or whoever it is, and see if you can get that corrected. That's like probably one of the easiest things that you could do if they do it. But to be honest, I wouldn't hold my breath on this because there's probably a lot of cases of this going on, and so they might not be able to do it, in a timely manner. But if they could, what they would do is issue you a corrected 1099K that shows 0 gross receipts, and therefore you don't have to report anything on your tax return. Okay, that would be awesome. If they can't do that, then another thing you can do is you would have to report the 1099K income on your tax return, but then offset it with a negative at a different spot on your tax return to kind of zero it out. Okay, so the 1099-K, if you're not self-employed, it gets reported on the Schedule 1 of the 1040. If you're an individual taxpayer, it gets reported on Schedule 1, and so you would have to report the gross receipts that's reported to you on Box 1 on Schedule 1, line 8Z, other income, okay? And then on line 24Z, there's other adjustments. You should report the exact same number, but a negative. So that way it zeroes it out. That way the IRS sees that you reported the income, and they're not gonna flag you and send you notices later for not reporting it. But you have this adjustment that also zeroes it out, and that makes everything okay. Okay, another situation you might get a 1099-K. If you're selling old stuff from your house, okay, people are paying you on Venmo, but let's say they pay you as a business. And they would do that maybe because they're scared, you know, the thing that they bought from you was defective, or they might want a refund. So, you know, paying you as a business gives them that protection where they can ask for a refund. Okay, so let's say they do that. Now, it's maybe not a legitimate business, but it does make sense. You know, if you're selling shit or you're buying stuff on eBay or on Craigslist, you want to make sure you have some protection against being scammed. So in this case, it kind of makes sense, but you know, for you as the recipient of the money, let's say you sold a TV for $600, should you be reporting that as income? And the answer is no, you shouldn't. You know, so if you sold a TV for $600 and they marked it as a business transaction, you're going to get a 1099-K for that transaction, and so now you're required to report it on your tax return, but you shouldn't pay taxes on that. And the reason is because you probably got that TV for like $1,500 or $2,000. Okay, so you paid $2,000 for this TV, but when you sold it, you only got $600 for it. So that's not technically income. That's actually, you're selling it at a loss. So I'm not telling you to go report this as a loss on your tax return, but if you get a 1099-K for this situation, then you can do the same thing that I told you in the very last scenario. You put an adjustment on line 24Z for the same amounts that you sold the TV for. Because since this is not a business, you're not really allowed to take a loss, you know, a negative income against the rest of your income. So what you can do is you have to report the $600 income from the 1099 and then report a negative $600 adjustment on line 24Z. That's all I got for today. I'll link a link to the IRS website that actually has these instructions for you. So I'm not making this crap up. The IRS is aware of the issues. They're actually putting the brakes on the requirements of payment vendors having to issue $600 1099-Ks. And now, just because they're you know, walking back on that requirements, if the vendor issues you a 1099-K, you still have to report it, or you have to do something about it. Okay, whether you report it or you try to get it corrected, you shouldn't just ignore it and not report it on your tax return. So I'll link that below in the description. Again, if you found this helpful, please smash the like button and hit the subscribe button. I would really appreciate that. Hope you have a good weekend, and I'll see you next week. I hit the function, hit the rose till I hiccup. I hit the stage and leave with money that's a sticker. She picture perfect, so I told him I'm a flicker. Bill, I'm in the mood for a change up.